It's like a bad dream that I can never wake up from.
Each one of them holding on to a memory of Cecilia Simpson
It just don't feel real. It don't feel real.
and her son just wishing he could feel his mother's presence again.
It's one day you wake up with your mom next to your side, and the next day it's quiet. You know, you can't see her no more.
You know that feeling when someone doesn't say thank you? Maybe they let a door slam in your face, or they don't acknowledge when you hold the elevator. It stings a little, right? Makes you feel invisible for just a second, but you shake it off. You move on with your day. You definitely don't pull out a gun and end someone's life over it. But on October 7th, 2025, in a busy Dallas shopping center, that's exactly what happened. A mother of two was shot dead in a PetSmart parking lot because she held a door open for someone who didn't say thank you. And before we go any further, if you're interested in true crime stories that make you question everything about human nature, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and click that bell icon so you never miss a case from Mystoracrimes. Trust me, you're going to want to follow this one. Let's talk about Cecilia Simpson. Her family called her CiCi. She was 41 years old, born February 2nd, 1984. Now, CiCi wasn't the type of woman you could ignore. Her sister Monica said she was loud, fun, full of fire, the kind of person whose energy filled up whatever room she walked into. She had this big personality and an even bigger heart. She loved hard, sometimes maybe too hard. Her 16-year-old son Darian remembers how she showed love in so many different ways, even if you didn't always want to receive it. She was that kind of mom, the protective kind, the kind who would stand up for herself and her kids no matter what. CiCi had 2 children. Her daughter was 20 and her son was 16. She also had this thing about dogs. Loved them, and she had a special soft spot for elderly people. Her mom, Leslie, said CiCi was just one of those people who cared deeply about everything and everyone around her. But that fire, that protectiveness, that refusal to let disrespect slide is what put her in the crosshairs on that October afternoon. Picture this. It's a Tuesday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. CiCi and her 20-year-old daughter are doing some shopping at the Wheatland Town Crossing, which is a shopping plaza in southeast Dallas. Nothing fancy, just your typical strip of stores. A Five Below, a PetSmart, the usual spots. They're at Five Below first, probably browsing for whatever catches their eye. As they're leaving, CiCi does what a lot of us were raised to do. She holds the door open for the woman behind her. Common courtesy, right? Something our parents drilled into us. But the woman walking through that door, 22-year-old Keona Zachyua Hampton, doesn't say thank you, doesn't even acknowledge CiCi, just walks right through like CiCi's invisible. And that sets CiCi off. She says something about it. Maybe she says it loud. Maybe she says it with that fire her family talked about. Hampton fires back. And just like that, these 2 complete strangers are in a full-blown argument in the doorway of Five Below over 2 words that were never spoken. Now here's where most of us would walk away. You'd be annoyed? Sure. You might mutter under your breath to your daughter about how rude people are these days. But you'd get in your car and drive off. The argument would be over, forgotten by dinner time. But that's not what happened here. CiCi and her daughter leave Five Below and drive to the PetSmart in the same plaza. Remember, CiCi loved dogs. Maybe she needed something for a pet. Maybe she was just browsing. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that when they get to PetSmart, they notice something that makes CiCi's stomach drop. Hampton has followed them. She's right there in the parking lot. So CiCi does what any concerned person would do. She goes inside and tells the PetSmart employees that someone's following them. She's worried. She wants them to know in case something happens. And then Hampton walks into the store. The argument starts up again. But this time it's not just between CiCi and Hampton. Now CiCi's daughter gets involved. The 3 of them are going back and forth, voices getting louder. Other customers are watching. Employees are getting nervous. Hampton eventually leaves. Everyone probably breathed a sigh of relief. Crisis averted, right? Wrong. A few minutes later, Hampton comes back into the store. She's not done. The argument flares up again, and now the PetSmart employees have had enough. They ask everyone to leave. All of them. Just get out of the store and take this somewhere else. So they all head to the parking lot. And this is where everything spirals completely out of control. Hampton walks over to CiCi's car and throws a drink bottle at it. Can you imagine? She literally throws a bottle at their vehicle. CiCi's not the type to let that slide. She gets out of the car. She walks right up to Hampton. They're face to face now. The argument's at full volume. And then it gets physical. CiCi starts hitting Hampton. Multiple witnesses saw this. She's yelling at Hampton to leave, to get away from her and her daughter. She's swinging. CiCi's daughter is right there trying to manage the situation. But at some point, the daughter steps back. Maybe to call for help. Maybe because she thought her mom had it under control. Maybe she just needed a second to process what was happening. Whatever the reason, in that brief moment when the daughter stepped away, Hampton made a choice that would destroy multiple lives forever. She pulled out a gun, black and silver, and she fired 3 shots into CiCi Simpson. Someone nearby was recording on their phone. You can hear the argument, the commotion, and then those gunshots. Pop, pop, pop. The person recording turned their camera away, but the audio captured everything. The chaos, the screams. And then you can see Hampton walking away, fast, with that black and silver handgun still in her hands. CiCi collapsed right there in the PetSmart parking lot. There was an ER nurse who happened to be there. Can you imagine being off duty, maybe shopping for your own pet, and suddenly you're doing CPR in a parking lot on a woman with multiple gunshot wounds? This nurse dropped down and started chest compressions immediately, trying to keep CiCi alive until the paramedics arrived. But later, this same nurse would say something that still haunts her. She talked about CiCi's daughter, how the daughter was next to her mom the whole time, and the screaming, the way that young woman screamed for her mother. The nurse said that sound will never leave her head. Never.
If I could just hug that daughter, I just feel so bad for her, and I just want her to know that I did everything I could. Those other people did everything they could.
Dallas Fire Rescue rushed CiCi to Methodist Central Hospital. Doctors tried everything, but the damage was too severe. Cecilia Simpson was pronounced dead from multiple gunshot wounds. She was 41 years old. Her daughter had just watched her mother get murdered over a thank you that never happened. Meanwhile, Hampton ran. Surveillance cameras caught her fleeing in a black 2005 Ford 500 with visible damage on it. Police started looking for that car immediately. They found it later that day at an apartment complex on John West Road in Dallas. Hampton was spotted on a balcony there. Then around 7:45 that evening, officers conducted a traffic stop on Trail Glen Drive and arrested her. When detectives interviewed Hampton, she confessed to everything. She admitted the argument at Five Below. She admitted following CiCi to PetSmart. She admitted going into the store twice. She admitted throwing the drink bottle at the car. She admitted the physical fight. And she admitted pulling out her gun and shooting Cecilia Simpson 3 times. Her explanation? She said she was just trying to get CiCi away from her. Think about that for a second. She could have driven away at any point. After the first argument at Five Below. After CiCi went into PetSmart. After the employees kicked them all out. But instead, she chose to follow. She chose to engage. She chose to throw that bottle. And when things got physical, she chose to pull a gun and take a life. Let me tell you what happened to CiCi's family after this. Her son, Darian. Remember, he's only 16. He says he doesn't sleep much anymore. When he does sleep, he doesn't have dreams. He has questions. Questions that will never be answered. He said one day you wake up and your mom's right there next to you, and the next day it's just quiet. You can't see her anymore. Can you imagine being 16 and losing your mother like that? CiCi's mom, Leslie,
Like a bad dream that I can never wake up from.
got a phone call from her granddaughter, CiCi's daughter, telling her that CiCi had been shot. Leslie says she'll never forget those screams. And then later at the hospital, when the doctor came out and said she didn't make it, more screams. Leslie describes this whole thing as a bad dream she can never wake up from. She looked right at the camera during an interview and said directly to Hampton, "You took their mother from them. You took my daughter. You took her sister. You took their aunt, their cousin. You took her from us for no reason. CiCi, Sister Monica, her only sibling, says she can't sleep either. She keeps saying it's unreal to lose your only sister this way. Over nothing. Over absolutely nothing. The family held a balloon release at Armstrong Park. They set up a GoFundMe to help CiCi's kids get counseling because that daughter, the one who watched her mother die, who screamed for her mother in that parking lot, she's going to need years of therapy to process what she witnessed. Hampton is currently sitting in Dallas County Jail on a $100,000 bond charge with murder. She had been arrested before for assaulting a family member. This wasn't someone who did no violence. The case number is 144-712-2025 if you want to follow the legal proceedings. So here's what I want you to think about. What makes someone follow another person to a second location over a verbal argument? What makes someone throw a bottle at a car, knowing it will escalate things? And most importantly, what makes someone pull out a gun during a fistfight and shoot 3 times? Hampton told police she was trying to get CiCi away from her, but CiCi's son pointed out something important. His mom walked away multiple times. She tried to leave. Hampton kept engaging. Do you think this was self-defense? Or was this someone who couldn't handle being disrespected and made a choice to bring a gun into a fight she could have walked away from at any moment? What really happens in someone's mind when they decide another person's life is worth less than their pride? If this case made you think, if it made you feel something, do me a favor and leave a comment below. Subscribe to Mystoracrimes for more cases that make us question human nature. And share this video because CiCi's family deserve for her story to be told.